So let us start. The next topic, that is data warehousing and mining. So data warehousing, what is data warehousing? It's an electronic storage of large amounts. So data warehousing, what is data warehousing? It's an electronic storage of large amount of information by a business or an organization. So it is generally designed to run query and analysis on historical data derived from transactional source for business intelligence and data mining purposes. So there is a difference between data warehousing and data mining. Data mining is considered as a process of extracting data from large data sets, whereas a data warehouse is the process of pooling all the relevant data together. Or in other words, data mining is the process of analyzing unknown patterns of data, and data warehouse is a technique for collecting and managing data. One more definition. The main difference between data warehousing and data mining is the data warehousing is the process of compiling and organizing data into one common database, whereas data mining is the process of extracting meaningful data from the database. So this is the difference between data warehouse and data mining. Or in simple terms, we can tell data warehouse is where the data is stored, and data mining means using various techniques we are extracting relevant, required information or required data. Okay, it's clear?
Clear.
Okay. So an example, here we are mentioning about a producer. So a producer, what exactly he wants to know about his customers, for example. See here, which are our lowest or highest margin customers? That is one question which arises in their mind. Second, who are my customers? Who are my customers and what products are they buying? Third one, what are the most effective distribution channel for showing or for selling the given products, etc. Next one, what impact will new products or service have on revenue and margins? And what products, promotions have the biggest impact on revenue? Which customers are most likely to go to the competition? Just see, among these different kinds of questions, it is evident that the producer wants to know about the customer's behavior, or they want to know about their product sales. They want to know about the market trends. They want to know about the competitors. They want to know about the advantages and disadvantages of their product over their competitors, etc. So they need to know many different information. From where they are going to get the information? They are going to get the information from the stored data or collected data. Okay, clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So data that is everywhere. We know data is everywhere, but what is the issue we are going to face? See here some of the concerns, some of the problems that we are going to face. The first one, let me tell you, I cannot find the data I need. Why? Because data is scattered, distributed over the network. It may have many versions. It have subtle differences. That means it will be sometimes same data, but in a different format. So unfortunately, we may think that no, this is not the data that I require, or this is not the data that I expected, etc. like that. That is the first drawbacks or the first problem that we are going to face. I cannot find the data I need. Second one, I can't get the data I need. So in that case, what it indicates, sometimes we need an expert. We need an expert to get the data. So one, I cannot find the data I need. Second one, I cannot get the data I need. Third one, I cannot understand the data I found. That means available data that is purely documented. And then comes, I cannot use the data I found. The results are unexpected. Data need to be transformed from one form to another. So just a simple example, I am going to give you an assignment. So whenever I am giving you an assignment, normally what you will do, you will go to Google and you will search for it. Sometimes what will happen, you cannot find the data. Sometimes what will happen, you may not get the data. Sometimes okay, you got the data, but you cannot able to understand it clearly. Fourth one, sometimes the data which you collected, sometimes it may not be suitable with respect to the given problem. So these are all the problems generally occurs when we are searching for data. So once again, what is data warehouse? So we know that it's a single, complete, and consistent store of data obtained from a variety of different sources made available to the end users in a what they want or what they can understand and use in a business context. So what is meant by data warehouse? According to Barry Devlin, he mentioned that it's a single, complete, and consistent store of data. That means the data is stored somewhere, which is single, which is consistent, which is complete. And this data, from where they are derived, from where they collected from different variety of sources, and it is available to the end users. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, just imagine that, for example, if I'm telling about Google database, see, whatever the data that you are searching, whatever the information that you are searching, you are going to get it immediately. So Google database, we can tell it as a data warehouse category. Why? Because it is the place where the data is stored for the end users to access the information when and where it is required. And then what are the users saying about the data? They are telling data should be integrated across the enterprise. Why it is integrated across the enterprise? Because data is scattered. Data is everywhere. For example, your own information. Just imagine in how many places it will be available. Your information is available with admission. Your information will be available in registration. Your information will be available with examination. Your information will be available with the result. Your information will be available with the library. Your information will be available with the department. Your information will be available with the faculty members. But just imagine if I'm telling about Ahmad Muhammad Khalifa. I'm just telling about a name. So in the admission, administration, registration, library, everything, it will be perfect. That is like Ahmad Muhammad Mustafa. But for example, if it comes to me, I will write as AHMD for Ahmad. Instead of writing the full name, I may write part of it like Muhammad. Instead of Muhammad, I may write MHD. So what if a third person going to see this, he may feel that it's a different data than the original name. Why? Because there it is Ahmad Muhammad Khalifa. Here it is AHMD MHD Khalifa. So it feels something like different data. So what we want to do, wherever we are using the same kind of data, wherever you are using the same data, this data must be integrated. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Second one, summary data has a real value to the organization. Sometimes what will happen, okay, in the first category, we mentioned about we need a complete information about the data. In second category, we are telling that we need a summary of the data. Why? Because everywhere, sometimes we cannot able to write the full information. So there we are making the summary. But when we are making the summary, that summary should have a meaning. Like for example, if I'm telling about student number, generally we will use std slash or std underscore number. So std underscore number means it should be clearly understandable to the user that it is mentioning student number, nothing else. Third one, historical data holds the key to understanding data over time. See, in most of the organizations, for most of the projects, we are not only using the existing data, we are also using the previous data or the past data, like what we are doing now. See, whenever we are purchasing something, whenever we are getting the cost of a particular product, we usually compare the rate with what it had in 2004. As you know, because of the dollar fluctuation and all, there is a lot of changes, a lot of hike in the prices. But even then, we will try to compare. So comparing means what? We are trying to compare with the old data. What is old data? Nothing but historical data. And next one, what is capabilities are required? Means what if analysis. What will happen if something, or what is the solution if something wrong happen, or what is the result if something happen unexpectedly, etc. And then comes, once again, there is a definition for data warehousing, that is data to information. It's a process of transforming data into information. So data means it is raw fact. Information means the collected data, related data, arranged data, which have some meaning. So the process of transforming data into information and making it available to the end users in a timely enough manner to make a difference. So the process of transforming data into information, in simple terms, we can call data warehousing. Okay. See, whenever this is asked for the examination, you need to write the perfect answer. Okay. Don't write like part of it. For example, like data warehousing means a process of transforming data into information. No, that is not the correct answer. So if you are writing, it should be the process of transforming data into information and making it available to the users in a timely enough manner to make a difference. Or which I mentioned in the starting, that it's an electronic storage of large amount of information by a business or an organization. So simply we can tell data warehousing is storing the information for the end users to use it when and where it is required, when and where it is needed. And then comes some of the very large databases like terabytes, which is 10 to the power 12 bytes. Generally, terabytes are used by Walmarts. Petabytes, 10 to the power 15 bytes, used by geographical information system providers. Exabytes, 10 to the power 18 bytes, national medical records. Zettabytes, 10 to the power 21 by weather images. Sotabyte, 10 to the power 24 bytes by the intelligence agency videos. Just see, these are all the very large databases. You can tell terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and sotabytes. Okay? Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, if you are having any doubts, please. That's why I always ask you not to mute your microphone, because if you are having any doubts in between, you can ask. Since it is not direct face-to-face interaction in the class, I'm asking. Okay, you will have some 2 to 3 more chapters, and after that, when I will finish, okay, before that, I will give you the assignment, and I will provide you the test on an online way. Then finally, I will ask you. I will come to the class to explain for the revision. Okay. For time being, I will use only online webcast. So data warehousing, it's a process. See, there are many definitions for data warehousing. All are indicating that it is nothing but it stores the data for manipulation. So here it is mentioning that it's a technique for assembling and managing data from various sources for the purpose of asking business questions. That means we are having, sorry, we are having the information, we are having the data that is collected from various sources, and it will be assembled and managed for what purpose? For answering some business questions. Thus, through that, the managers, the top level people can able to take the decisions which was not possible in the previous time. See, the best example I can tell about our own studies in the late 90s or in the early 90s. See, when we executed or when we are performing our projects, unfortunately, the internet was not that much popular. Not only popular, it was not been introduced in our university. So there is no chance for us to get any data online. So in order to complete the project, in order to complete the research, we purely depend on the library books. Just imagine that too, the library books are very limited. For example, if I'm telling about software engineering, we can find just 1 or 2 books, and that too for 100 students, sorry, 60 students. Just imagine how it is easy, how it is possible to manage. It's very difficult. Okay, so from the olden times, for the non-availability of information, non-availability of data, now everything is possible with the advancement of technology. The data is available, data is managed, it is assembled in a certain place, in a certain area from various resources, and that will be available to the user when and where it is required for taking the decision, so that the managers, the top level managers, can able to take the decision in an immediate manner. And a decision support database maintained separately from the organization's operational database. So they will generally create 2 databases. One is for operational, that means the day-to-day activities. From this day-to-day activities, they will make the conclusion, they will make a solution, and this solution will be forwarded to the decision support database for taking the decision by the decision makers or decision making managers. Okay. Another definition, a data warehouse is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-varying, non-volatile collection of data that is used primarily in organizations' decision-making. Just see, we can tell it's a subject-oriented. Why? Because the information that we collected should be relevant to the problem. It should be integrated. It should be time varying. That means always we need updated information. What the information we received maybe in 2002 may not be the same in 2020, or may not be the same in 2025. It will be always updated. Maybe the concept may be the same. The content may vary. Why? Because since due to the enhancement of the technologies, we are going to get new ideas, new technologies, new methods, new methodologies, etc. What happened to Sabine? She is entering in many times. Are she facing any problem? So, explorers, farmers, and tourists. See here, we are mentioning about 3 different kinds of people. See what the tourists generally they will do. They will browse the information harvested by farmers. So what the farmer had done, the tourist will extract those information. What the farmers will do, they will harvest the information from known sources. What the explorers will do, seek out the unknown and previously unsuspected reward, hiding the detailed data. So here we are mentioning about 3 different categories of people. See, for example, okay, let us tell about we 3 people. That is the author, the faculty, the students. So what the author will do, he will try to write a book with different sources, the information collected from different sources. The author will write a book. The faculty, what they will do, with respect to the syllabus of the university, with respect to the syllabus of the concerned education institution, he will pick the information from here and there from the textbooks, and he will prepare the lecture notes. And what the students will do, for them, which one is going to be important for the examination, that only they will study. So from a large amount of data, the faculty will extract the essential with respect to the syllabus. The students will again re-extract. Again, it will be compromised with respect to, or compressed with respect to their examination needs. So the data warehousing architecture, we are having starting with a relational database. So it's a type of database, and it uses a structure that allows us to identify and access data in relation to another piece of data in the database. Often data in a relational database is organized into table. That means which data, in simple terms, relational database means which data is orderly arranged in the form of row and column, or in the form of table-like structure. Then comes ERP systems, or enterprise resource planning systems. These are all complete integrated systems that manage all aspects of a product-based or distribution business, aligning financial management, human resources, supply chain management, and manufacturing or distribution with the core function of accounting, ERP systems. So in an organizations, in the enterprise, all kinds of softwares that will be there. Then purchase data, and third one is legacy data. So legacy data means what? Historical data. We can tell that it's an oldest method, technology or computer systems or application programs, or related to or being previously or outdated computer system. Legacy data means existing old historical data. Then comes extraction or cleansing. What is extraction or cleansing? Extracting the information and cleaning, filtering the information which is been optimized loader. It is going to optimize with the help of database engine, and from where they are getting this information, so it will be taken for the output like analyze query. From where they are getting the information, they are getting the information from the metadata repository. So it is nothing but metadata repository. It is nothing but a database created to extract and to store metadata. What is metadata? Data about data. It's an information about the structure that contains the actual data. It's also said to be data about data, but this is misleading. Data profiles are an example for actual data about data. See, for example, if I'm telling about your own name, surely we will have the first name, middle name, and last name. So what we are doing, we are already having a data. That data, we are extracting it again. So extraction of data about data, more information about the data. So this is the inputs. Inputs may be taken from relational database, ERP systems, purchase data, or legacy data. It will be extracted, cleansed, optimized with the help of database engine. The data will be either taken from the metadata database, or it will be saved or stored in the metadata repository, and the given information, the cleansed information, extracted information, compromised information, optimized information will be taken for analysis. It may be analysis through the computer, it may be through graphs, etc., or it may be through diagrams, etc., etc. Okay, clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Decision support. In the information system, generally we have a transaction processing system, decision support system, management information system. Like that, the layers are going. So in decision support, how database or data warehouse is applicable, or how data warehouse is having a big role in making the decision. So the data which we collected, the data which we are having is used to manage and control the business. Data is historical, that is legacy data or old data, or it may be updated point in time, that is updated data. It may be optimized, compromised for inquiry rather than update. use of a system is usually defined and can be sometimes unplanned, that is ad hoc, used by managers and end users to understand the business and make sometimes the judgment. So data can be used for the different decision support system in an organization. So the data can be used by the inline managers or the lower level managers or the middle managers or even by the upper level managers to make decisions in their concerned problem, in their concerned department. So data mining works with the data warehouse data. So how data warehousing provides the enterprise with a memory, whereas that of data mining provides the enterprise with intelligence. So in one, memory, that means storage. Second one is intelligence, that means extraction. And we want to know, see here there are some questions that have been given. Here some questions are given. Given a database of 100,000 names, which persons are the least likely to default on their credit cards? Question number 2, which types of transactions are likely to be fraudulent? Given the demographics and transitional history of a particular customer, if I raise a price of my product by ₹2, what is the effect on my return on investment? If I offer only 2,500 airline miles as an incentive to purchase rather than 5,000, how many lost response will result? If I emphasize ease of use of a product as opposed to its technical capabilities, what will be the net effect on my revenues? Which of my customers are likely to be most loyal? See here, there are some certain questions. Okay, forget about this. Let me tell you that if I decided to find the students who are regularly absent in my classes, okay, I want to extract or I want to identify the students who are regularly absent in my classes. So that is the question. From where I can able to get the information? I can get the information from the attendance list, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. That means what? This is acting like a data warehouse for me. And from this data warehouse, what I'm doing with the help of data mining, which information I need, according to that, I'm going to extract it. So for these all kinds of questions, data mining helps to extract the information for making the decision. Okay? Clear?
Okay, clear.
Clear, yeah, clear.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of the applications areas which we are mentioning it over here, industry, finance. So an application like credit card analysis, insurance, claims and fraud analysis, telecommunication, call record analysis, transport, logistic management, consumer goods, promotion analysis, data service providers, value added data, utilities, power usage analysis. So these are all some, only few of the applications which we mentioned it over here. There are many applications, but just we mentioned only few applications over here. Okay, it can be applied in many areas where data is important, data extraction is important, or information is important. Okay, for your information, the meeting will end in 10 minutes. So that does not mean that you need to go. Please stay. I will come back immediately after the cutoff. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr.
Okay.
So data mining. Then we are considering about data mining. See, US government, they use data mining to track fraudulent activities. A supermarket, which we are telling that they are becoming an information broker. See, for example, I am going to a supermarket, I am going to purchase a pen. See, every time it will not be possible for me to ask the counter people what is the price of it. So instead of what they will do, they have a machine which is used to, can you see this? Can you see this? This one I am telling.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to extract, so what we want to do, we want to just put this one in front of that machine, and by reading this barcode, in the screen it will display the product number, product information, and the price. So what it is, the given information is already recorded over there, already stored over there, and when and where it is needed, using data mining techniques, we are extracting the information. So we can tell that a supermarket becomes an information broker. Then comes basketball teams use it to track the game strategy. Not only basketball team, all the games, whatever the games which we are having, they will use the saved video, for example, the previous play of a player, how he played, or in which way we can able to track him, in which way we can able to block him, everything. They will study the strategy with respect to their previous matches. Then comes cross-selling, warranty claims, holding on good customers, and weeding out, that is removing the bad customers. See why we are using cookies in the websites? Because cookies are used to know our activities in the website. How long time we are staying in a particular web page, or how if it is an online store, they will check that how long time we are staying with a particular product, and how much time we purchase the same product again and again. So like that, many different information that these website owners or the website developers need to extract about the customer, whether they are a valid customer or whether they are invalid customer. If you are a valid customer, they will maintain you. If you are an invalid customer, they will try to terminate you. Okay. So what makes data mining possible? So some of the areas which we mentioned, data warehousing, yes, because once if we are having the stored data, then only we can mine the data, we can extract the data. Better and more data, it may be in operational, behavioral, or in demographic way. The emergence of easily deployed data mining tools and advancement of new data mining techniques. I think you already studied this subject, or you are studying in this semester. Am I correct?
Yeah.
You studied this subject, or you are studying this subject now? What happened? Nobody is giving a response. You studied this subject?
Yes, we did in data mining.
Yeah, in data mining you studied. So mostly you have studied about some of the data mining techniques, isn't it? In order to see, okay, even though it is not exactly a data mining technique, we can tell that when you learn about SQL, you need to create a table, you need to insert values into the table. And when you are giving select star from table name, you are going to get all the information. Select student number or student name from table, you are going to get only student number. So it's also kind of extraction. Means in data mining, what we are going to do, what information is required for us, which information is relevant for us, that information we are going to share. Okay. Then comes relational database management system. It is used for OLTP. What is OLTP? It is online transaction processing. So what it is, it's a category of data processing that is focused on transaction-oriented tasks. It typically involves inserting, updating, and or deleting small amounts of data in the database. And OLTP mainly deals with large numbers of transactions by a large number of data modelings. So data systems have been traditionally used for OLTP, like for clerical data processing tasks, detailed up-to-date tasks or up-to-date data, structured repetitive tasks, read or update few records, Isolation, recovery, and integrity are critical in the traditional or in the OLTP, online transaction processing system. Then comes some of the examples of operational data. Okay, this I will continue after the break. Okay, I will continue. So here just we mentioned about the RDBMS for OLTP. Some of the operational data which we can tell. Here the first field indicates the data, second is industry, third one is their usage, fourth one is the technology, fifth one is the volume. So customer file, it will be used by all industries. General usage is tracking the customer details. Technology like legacy application, flat files, mainframes, etc. And volume, it may be small or it may be medium. Account balance, generally by finance. Usage, control, account activities. Legacy applications, hierarchical database and mainframe, which is large in nature. Point of sale data, retail industry, generate bills, manage stock. ERP, client server relational database, and which is very large. Call records, telecommunications, billing, usage is billing. Technology used is legacy application, hierarchical database and mainframe, and that also very large. Then production record, manufacturing, control, usage is control the production, ERP, relational database, and AS400, and it is medium in nature. So there is a difference between OLTP and data warehouse. OLTP is application oriented, whereas that of data warehouse is subject oriented. OLTP is used to run the business, warehouse is used to analyze the business. OLTP is detailed data, warehouse is summarized, refined, pure data. OLTP is current, up to date, and warehouse is snapshot data. OLTP is isolated, warehouse is integrated. OLTP is repetitive access, and warehouse is ad hoc access. And OLTP is for clerical users, and warehouse is for knowledge user or sometimes like managers. So to summarize, we can tell OLTP systems are used to run a business, whereas that of the data warehouse is helped to optimize the business. So one is to run the business, second one is to optimize the business. And why? Now data is being produced. Enterprise resource planning provides clean data. The computing power is available. The computing power is affordable. The competitive pressures are strong, and commercial products are available. So why we are using data warehousing or data mining? Because data is available freely, data is available everywhere. We can use the data, we can configure the data according to our needs. Okay. Components of the data warehouse. So what are the components generally? Data extraction and loading. The data warehouse. For analyzing and query, we are using OLAP tools, that is online analytical processing tools, metadata, and then the second kinds of component, that is data mining tools for extraction of data and loading that warehouse, that means cleansing or cleaning the data before it is loaded. So I think that's all about this chapter. So we can tell data, which is the heart of the data warehouse. The heart of the data warehouse is the data itself, single version, corporate memory. Data is organized in a way that represents the business, that is subject orientation. So that's all for today.